NBC Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Back in Seattle, only Pete Carroll knows the answer as to his starting quarterback. Moments ago, Pete spoke with our Andrea Kramer.
Thanks very much, Al. Well, Pete, who starts at quarterback tonight and why?
Charlie Whitehurst is going tonight. He had all the work all week long. We just got Matt back tonight. Matt's ready to play, though, so we'll look forward. If we need him, we're going to call on him.
You worked out Matt Hasselbeck before the game. Under what circumstances would he play?
Well, we get a chance to, if we need him, he's going to go. He's dying to get in there. He's done everything. He's been a great warrior about it. He's made it back, so if we call on him, he's going to jump out there and help us win. All
right, Pete, thanks very much. We appreciate it. And Al, wide receiver Brandon Stokely out with a concussion. Matt Hasselbeck caught his absence a huge void.
There is Whitehurst, Andrea. Whitehurst getting the start, but Hasselbeck is at the ready. It's a tradition here in Seattle, as we will take a look at the 12th man in just a second. Steve Spagnuolo is the St. Louis coach, former Rams defensive coordinator from 1-15 to 7-8. And he'll have to wait before the opening kickoff for what's become a tradition here in Seattle. The raising of the 12th man flag, and it's normally a former Seahawk or a dignitary or a celebrity, and tonight it was Brian Blades who raised the flag, a very popular former Seahawk, and there he is getting this crowd stirred up. Not that this crowd needs to get stirred up. Seattle's going to get the ball, the Rams to kick off. The final game of the regular season is underway. Leon Washington, the former Jet, who's returned 3 kickoffs for touchdowns. A flag is down, however, 2 of them, in fact, back at the 23-yard line. So it was going to be a pretty good run back. In all likelihood, will come back. Washington bringing it back 38.
During the return, holding. Receiving team, number 93. 10-yard penalty for the spot of foul. First down.
Craig Terrell. Take a look at the hold here.
We're on the left-hand side. That's sort of a takedown and a good one. You know, if you're going to do it right. But I tell you, if I were a special teams coach, I think I would reserve my largest fines for those penalties, because as an offense, when you start from your own 13-yard line, it's tough.
So Washington had given them what appeared to be pretty good position. Now it's Whitehurst making only his 2nd career start. Backed up Phillip Rivers for 4 seasons in San Diego. Got traded here, and he swings it out on first down to Justin Forsett. And Forsett will pick up a first down. He takes it out to the 26-yard line. Let's take a look at the Seattle starters.
Charlie Whitehurst, Clemson Tigers.
Marshawn Lynch, Oakland Ice City, California.
Michael Robinson, Penn State.
Mike Williams, USC. Ben Obawanu, Auburn.
John Carlson, Notre Dame.
Russell Okung, Oklahoma State.
Tyler Columbus, Colorado.
Chris Spencer, Ole Miss.
Mike Gibson, Cal.
Sean Locklear, NC State.
And Marshawn Lynch introducing himself. He's been the regular starter, but Forsett is in there for the first 2 plays tonight. And Whitehurst slings it downfield, and getting open was Ruvell Martin. Inside the 30, inside the 20, and tackled at the 13-yard line. James Hall all the way down the field to tackle him. Ruvell Martin, 6th-year at the Saginaw Valley State. And Whitehurst telling us the other day, he and Martin really work extremely well together, don't they?
Yeah, well, Dockery that time just completely missed on the blitz, and then Craig Dahl came out of center field for whatever reason and just allowed Ruvell Martin to get wide open down the field. Pete Carroll telling me before the game, hey, these guys have given up a lot of big plays. We're going to take our shots tonight with Charlie Whitehurst. Boy, did they ever.
61 yards, longest reception of Martin's career. From the 13, they swing it out to Forsett. He gets inside the 10 and then gets stuffed at the 9-yard line by the safety, Craig Dahl.
Well, I don't think they're too afraid of letting Charlie Whitehurst play, do you? I mean, they come right out, 3 straight passes, spread out the formation, not even going to try and run the football. Not that they've had any success, but Pete Carroll's certainly been around some big games in his career, and the heck, let's go fire it down the field.
Matt Hasselbeck, the longtime Seattle veteran, led him to the Super Bowl in '05. Whitehurst making, as we say, only his second career start, the other one against the Giants earlier this season. Marshawn Lynch is in the backfield, and the former Buffalo Bill who came over in a trade in October, taken down behind the line by Chris Chamberlain. Let's take a look at that St. Louis defense.
Chris Long, the University of Virginia.
Fred Robbins, Wake Forest University.
Gary Gibson, Rutgers University.
James Hall, Michigan.
David Vobora, University of Idaho.
James Laurinaitis, The Ohio State University.
Chris Chamberlain, Tulsa. Ron Bartell, Howard University.
Craig Dahl, North Dakota State.
Shumago Atogwa, Lord's Warrior, Stanford.
Bradley Fletcher, Iowa.
3rd down and 10 now. Whitehurst under pressure, and he's going to get sacked at the 16-yard line. There's a flag down. James Hall gets credit for the sack. He already has 10.5 coming into the game.
While the quarterback was in the pocket, holding, defense, number 24. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
The cornerback Bartell. So instead of a field goal attempt, 1st down and goal.
Wow, huge play, because that sack was absolutely going to happen regardless of what happened with Ron Bartell on the outside.
Well, got his hands on Ben Obamanu.
He must have seen the little jersey being pulled away, because there wasn't a lot there.
1st and goal now from the 7-yard line on the game's opening drive. Another swing pass. This time it is Golden Tate, rookie out of Notre Dame, drafted in the 2nd round. He is out of bounds just inside the 5-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and goal.
Well, this is the biggest play of the game so far. Let's take one more look right out here and see whether or not there's a hold. The little jersey, I think on the front side with that left hand, you could see the receiver just sort of reflex back Obamanu. Must have been, believe me, the official had a much better look at that than we did.
2nd and goal. Whitehurst is 4 for 4. Rolling. Comes back the other way. Touchdown, Mike Williams.
Well, you see it so often. Roll this way, throw it back across the grain as the defenders all move to their left. And for Mike Williams, what a long, strange ride it has been for him. Out of football for 2 years and comes back. And boy, what a first drive for the Seahawks.
5 of 5 for 85 yards passing for Whitehurst. Olindo Mari for the point after. It takes them 3 minutes and 22 seconds to take the lead in the battle for the NFC West Championship. Whitehurst, touchdown, 7-0. Sunday Night Football from Seattle, being brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By Verizon, the signal is yours. Verizon, rule the air. By Hyundai Holidays, savings, fuel economy, comfort, and joy. And by Pepsi Max, 0 calories and maximum Pepsi taste. And that was the scene on New Year's Eve, the Space Needle in downtown Seattle. The fireworks going off at midnight. The signal 2011. And the Seahawks have sent a pretty good signal to the Rams. They're not here to roll over on that opening drive. Kickoff by Mari. Danny Amendola to run it back. Runs up to grab it at the 15-yard line and take it back to the 25-yard line. And that's where Sam Bradford and his group will go to work, and let's meet them.
Sam Bradford, Oklahoma.
Steven Jackson, Oregon State University.
LaRon Robinson, Illinois State.
Brandon Gibson, Washington State.
Danny Amendola, Texas Tech.
Billy Badgema, Oklahoma State.
Roger Sappho, Indiana University.
Jacob Bell, Miami University.
Jason Brown, Carolina Tar Heels.
Adam Goldberg, the University of Wyoming.
Jason Smith, Baylor University.
From the 25-yard line, Bradford, the #1 overall pick, throwing to the right side, and that's Alexander making the catch. Marcus Trufant is there to stop him in his tracks. Bradford has not missed a single snap all season. There was some question about his durability because he'd been hurt in his junior year at Oklahoma after winning the Heisman Trophy as a sophomore. People were concerned about his shoulder. He wins the job and hasn't missed a snap or a practice all season. 2nd and 11 from the 24-yard line. Jackson is the I-back, and again a slant this time, and that's a gain of 8. LaRon Robinson taking the ball out to the 34-yard line, setting up a 3rd down and short.
Well, you can see what they're trying to do with Sam Bradford. Let's just get him settled. A couple of quick, easy throws, throw it inside to Robinson, and get this thing jump started. I'll tell you what, with 2 young quarterbacks, my feeling was maybe they'll come out a little conservative, sort of let them feel their way. They're coming out firing tonight.
Playoff berth at stake, 3rd down and 1 from the 34-yard line. And now they give it to the up-back, and he's going to get stuffed, and that's Mike Carney, the fullback. And Seattle's run defense right there to stack him up before he can even get to the line of scrimmage. And St. Louis forced to punt after a 3 and out.
Well, this thing got stuffed right away. Penetration and short yardage. Mike Carney only 4 carries all season. I'm sure that the Rams were thinking they could catch him by surprise, but the slant got him.
Leon Washington back to return the kick. Donnie Jones, one of the better punters in the league. High floating kick. And it is dropped and fumbled, but out of bounds by Washington. And Seattle retaining possession at the 33-yard line. So their second possession upcoming. Their first culminated with this touchdown grab by Williams, with the Hawks on top, 7-zip. And you can log on to NBCSports.com/SNF Extra. Check it out. A lot of great enhancements. Another way to enjoy Sunday night football. End of the regular season, winner in, loser gone. Here's Whitehurst, who spent 4 years in San Diego and didn't throw a pass until this season here in Seattle from the 33-yard line. The play fake, rolling. Now he's looking back again to his left, and his pass is incomplete. Intended for Cameron Mora. Whitehurst was born in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Why? Well, his father, you might remember David Whitehurst, was a quarterback for the Packers. So he was born there, but he was really raised in the South in Atlanta. Dad still lives there, and he went to Clemson. Goes to San Diego. He's really the 3rd quarterback for most of the last 4 years behind Phillip Rivers and Billy Volek. And then Seattle brings him in to compete with Hasselbeck for the starting job at the beginning of the year. Here's Washington. And Washington comes up about 4 yards shy of the first, tackled by Bartell.
And you know, Charlie Whitehurst has had some opportunities this year. They make the deal for him. He comes over and everybody kind of said, who? He was a 3rd-string quarterback in San Diego. They paid him big money, $10 million over 2 years, and he got some opportunities. He got a chance to play against the New York Giants, did next to nothing. Got a chance to play last week against the Bucs, really did next to nothing. So expectations were so low, and that first drive was just so explosive.
3rd down and 2. From the 42, and Whitehurst has to take a timeout. Timeout with 8:41 to go in the opening quarter. West Field, 7-0 Seahawks.
Well, Charlie Whitehurst certainly has made his presence known right away here for these Seahawk fans. First drive right out of the chute, and it was here we go. No warming up, no let's take it easy, get him in the flow of the game, throwing deep early on. And just continue to make accurate throws, looking completely under control, and then a little trick them on the end. 7-0, and for Seahawk fans, a sigh of relief because they haven't seen that much offense in a long time.
3rd down, short 2 after the timeout from the 41-yard line, and it's an inside handoff, and Forsett is able to pick up the first down. Forsett started the year as the starting running back, and then they brought Marshawn Lynch in from Buffalo. Ironically, the two of them, Forsett and Lynch, were teammates at Cal.
Well, a new starting left guard here, Tyler Columbus, is going to pull out in front of this thing. It's not a great block, but just good enough for Forsett to sort of bounce his way off, and all things going the Seahawks' way right now.
Lynch is back in the game, and Marshawn Lynch with a good run, an 11-yard run into Rams territory and a first down.
Well, I tell you, these guards are off to a good start. Mike Gibson that time out in front, and remember, the Seahawks have had 3 different starting guards at each guard position, so that has been a revolving door all season long. But Gibson getting out in front and clearing the way.
Seahawks with their 10th different offensive line combination in 16 games. From the 43-yard line, a toss here, and then reading it perfectly was number 90 George Selvey, rookie out of South Florida, stopping Lynch in his tracks for a loss of 3.
It was interesting to talk a little bit about the way the Rams played defensively. They've had so much success on outside runs this year, and they've given up most of their yardage inside, over 5 yards per carry inside. And you mentioned that to Laurinaitis, the middle linebacker, and he was like, what? Are you kidding me? He wasn't happy at all about that.
Yeah, he and Chris Long sitting there in the meeting yesterday, and they said, hey, we got to do something about that. 2nd and 13. And Whitehurst checks it off to the near side, and the catch is made at the 41-yard line by Cameron Mora, tackled by the former Giant Craig Dole. Just another of the former Giants. When Spagnuolo comes over from the Giants, a lot of coaches, they'll come over and they'll bring in guys who knew their system, and one of those was Dole.
Yeah, what do they have now? 5 guys that was on the Giants defense back in the day with Spagnuolo, and he wanted character guys. He said, we were not signing anybody that we did not personally know as a staff.
3rd down 7 now from the 40-yard line. And that pass is too far in front of Forsett. So the drive bogs down. Seattle right now has gained 108 yards to St. Louis's 9, with the Rams ready to get the ball back.
And that was a big miss right there. Charlie Whitehurst, his first poor throw of the night. He had Forsett wide open and looked like he had enough room to pick up the first down, just missed him.
That's Danny Amendola, who leads the league in combined yardage. That's receiving, kickoff returns, punt returns, and rushing. And John Ryan to kick it away. Fair catch called for and made by Amendola at the 10-yard line. Bradford will go back to work. A little more than 6 minutes to go in the opening period. 7-0 Seattle. Tomorrow night, Jay Leno, number 1 in the late night, welcoming Snooki from the Georgia Shore. Queen Latifah, Jamie Foxx, Jesse Eisenberg join Jay later this week. The Tonight Show with Jay Leno, weeknights right here on NBC. Seattle, where there hasn't been a cloud in the sky for 3 days. It's been gorgeous, but cold. Temperature in the mid-30s right now. The ball is at the 10-yard line. Bradford off the play fake. He uses a lot of play action and then throws it to Jackson. And Jackson with a good run out to the 30-yard line. Pick up of 20 yards on the play. And Hawthorne makes the tackle.
Well, Steven Jackson just going to get the play fake. They're so used to him getting all the touches. He carries it more than just about anybody in the NFL. That time, play fake to him, throw it to him out in the flat. And this is really an aggressive start for those in St. Louis who wanted to see him cut loose Sam Bradford. You're seeing that tonight as well.
A little bit of the old Sam Whites, as you would know, sugar huddle there. They didn't huddle up conventionally. The ball is at the 30-yard line. And Bradford throws incomplete over the head of Robinson. Covered by Trufant. Let's take a look at the Seattle defense.
Chris Clemens, Georgia.
Brandon Mebane, California.
Colin Cole, Iowa.
Kentuan Balmer, Weldon, North Carolina. Aaron Curry, E.E. Smith High School.
Lofa Tatupu, Tri-Town, Mass.
David Hawthorne, TCU.
Marcus Trufant, Washington State.
Lawyer Malloy, UW.
Earl Thomas, Orange, Texas.
Kelly Jennings, the U.
Lawyer Malloy has been around 15 years. Lawyer Malloy played for Pete Carroll when Carroll coached the Patriots in the late 90s. 2nd down and 10. Play clock down to 1. And Jackson, who's been the workhorse for 7 years for this team, tackled by Raheem Brock, the former Colt. 1,000 yards again for Steven Jackson, a guy who has had a really good career, but has barely scratched the postseason surface. Played only in his rookie year in postseason.
And he has been the focal point for every defense that has played the Rams this year. That time the Rams went to their spread formation for the first time, and a big part of why they do that is to give Steven Jackson some running room.
Kenneth Darby comes in his spot, flanking Bradford in the backfield. 3rd down and 7. And Bradford slides to his left and has it knocked down at the line of scrimmage. It's Jordan Babineau coming in and knocking it down on a safety blitz, and it's 4th down.
Well, Jordan Babineau is, we all remember him from that Dallas Cowboys playoff game a few years back, but here he is just standing there, not really blitzing, just trying to make sure that nothing happened in behind him. And once again, Seattle's defense showing up big so far.
Yeah, safety quarter blitz.
They had 7 DBs in the game that time, so you're seeing a little bit of everything out of Seattle tonight.
Here's Donnie Jones. And he spins that one all the way down to the 15-yard line, and Washington doesn't call for the fair catch.
Lucky.
And gets buried by Quincy Butler. So Whitehurst will go back to work late in the first. Quarterbacks, father and son combinations, and we can walk you through some of that after Whitehurst takes his team up to the line of scrimmage on 1st down from the 14-yard line. Marshawn Lynch is the running back, off the fake, buying time. Whitehurst is mobile, and Whitehurst will step out of bounds after a gain of about 8 yards. You go back, and there have been some phenomenal combinations. Peyton and Archie and Eli would head that list, and then Jack Kemp, originally in the American Football League, and his son Jeff playing with the Rams. Bob and Brian Greasy. You go through the years to Phil and Chris Sims. And then you've got David Whitehurst in Green Bay, 77 through 83. 2 years he was the starter there, 78 and 79. And son Charlie. Second and short, the ball is given to Michael Robinson, the fullback, and he carries out to about the 24, still just shy of the 1st down. 3rd and 1 upcoming.
I have never seen a fullback play like Michael Robinson does. He's in a 2-point stance to start every play, and even in short yardage plays. Look at him. He's standing up at fullback because he used to play quarterback, and he likes to read the defenses, but it certainly doesn't give you the forward momentum on a short yardage play that you'd like out of your fullback either.
Lynch is the running back, and Lynch is going to get stopped as he tries to go over right guard. Seattle is last in the league in rushing, and that's Chris Chamberlain coming in to make the tackle.
Yeah, they are really crashing hard down off the ends, and of course Seattle really doesn't, coming in right here, they don't run the ball all that well anyway. They haven't had a 100-yard rusher this entire season, and with all the changes on that offensive line and the fact that Alex Gibbs, their offensive line coach, basically retired just before the season started, they never have gotten anything going with the running game.
Average only about 85 rushing yards per contest. That won't get it done. Ryan's kick is a wobbly end-over-end kick. It takes a sideways bounce. And Seattle will down the ball at the 41-yard line with 2 minutes and 41 seconds remaining in the first quarter. How tough is it to win here at Quest Field? Seahawks opened up this facility in 2002. 21 games over at home and 18 under on the road. False starts, the opponents average better than 2 false starts per game at Quest Field. So it's been tough to win here through the years. It's been a little easier for road teams in the last couple of years, and Hasselbeck said the other day, we have to get our crowd back. He said it's our fault. Rams 1-7 since this park opened up. And then on a very slow developing and a play that will probably come out of the playbook forever, Robinson gets taken down by Will Herring. Loss of 9.
What a great play by William Herring. And Daniel Fells is going to come across the formation and try and get a kick out block right here. And he just basically misses that. And on the outside, Will Herring, that's a beautiful play. And I tell you, defensively, you could see it in practice this week. I had a chance to watch him on Thursday. They were so amped up, they were so emotional, and it has just carried over to game time.
2nd and 19. And of course that gets the crowd falling into it. After a 9-yard loss, Bradford. And he'll have that one knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Craig Terrell batting it. It will be 3rd down and 19 next.
Well, for Sam Bradford, he's really getting his first taste of playoff action. You know, everybody came into this game going, oh boy, if this thing ends up Charlie Whitehurst against Sam Bradford, here's the rookie of the year. And I said, wait a minute now, this is a rookie. This is maybe the toughest stadium in all of football to come into. Don't be assuming that this is going to be an easy walk just because the Seahawks haven't been playing well.
Under 2 minutes to go in the quarter. It's a 2-man rush, and the pass is still batted at the line of scrimmage. Curry got a hand on it. 2 men rushing, 1 stayed in the middle, and 8 back. 4th down.
Well, Aaron Curry's going to get the knockdown, but it looked like he was offsides on the play. Let's see. If that's not offsides, I don't know what is. That should be an extra snap. And for Sam Bradford, he's lucky he didn't throw a pick there. I'm sure he was thinking we get a free play. Should have been a free play. Instead, it's a punt.
Curry was so sure he was offside, he was looking for the flag. Donnie Jones. He'll punt. Leon Washington. This is a line drive kick, and Washington runs up from the 30. And the former Jet coming back off a broken leg in his first year with Seattle to the 41-yard line. The playoffs begin next Saturday. We'll have both games for you on NBC. It's the Saints against the Seahawks first. The Jets go into Indianapolis second. Football night will start at 4 Eastern and 1 Pacific here on NBC. Penalty at the end of the play on the run back by Washington. Jerome Boger's crew working tonight's game.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, receiving team. I'm sorry. Correction. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, kicking team. Number 36. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down.
Called it on Quincy Butler.
I tell you, there was another one right after that. Jordan Babineau basically took out the punter, Donnie Jones, on a pretty low block, and you're not allowed on special teams to be chopping on either side of the ball. I thought that might have been the call, but instead it goes against the Rams here. Right down in here. A little shot to the face. They're going to get it.
And he did it right in front of the line judge, so he couldn't get away with it. Line judge Gary Arthur throwing the flag. 15 yards and a first down at the Ram 44-yard line. Here's Lynch, and Lynch can't get out of the backfield. Brian Keel, another former Giant, making the tackle.
Well, you just wonder if Tyler Columbus ends up on the right assignment here. He ends up double teaming down, which gives nobody on Brian Keel. See the double team, instead of reaching out here, there's just nobody there to block Keel, and they get a free shot. That's about the 3rd or 4th free runner in the backfield for Seattle that we've seen.
8 rushes for Seattle for 13 yards. A minute to go in the quarter. And 2nd and long. Washington. And he gets tripped up and picks up about 6 yards on the play. Laurinaitis, the middle linebacker, making the tackle. So it comes down to this. Will Seattle be the first ever division champion going to the playoffs with a losing mark? Or will St. Louis get in and they'll be the 3rd division champion to get in at 8-8?
You know, but this is the playoffs now. I mean, it really is. There just happens to be 13 teams in the playoffs because we got a play-in game tonight. So after tonight, the records don't matter anyway.
Off the fake, and Whitehurst under pressure, and that pass is slung out of bounds. And Chris Long comes in to put the heat on. It'll be 4th down.
And Charlie Whitehurst going to have to be careful now because he's starting to hold the ball a little too long. This is a good pass rushing team. Chris Long getting a chance to play over on that left-hand side, and he has really blossomed this year. 8.5 sacks. You don't want to leave these tackles out there too long against Chris Long and James Hall. They're both very effective.
John Ryan with his 3rd punt, and it's the 6th punt of the quarter between the two teams, and that is beautiful. Bounces at the 1, spins back to the 3, and that's where Bradford will start after a 40-yard punt off the foot of Ryan and 9 seconds to play in the first quarter.
Yeah, point the toe of the ball down, and if you ever play golf with Al Michaels, you know as soon as this thing hits the ground, he's screaming, bite, bite.
Please.
Watch this one, just like an Al Michaels wedge shot right there, baby.
That's you, man. That narrow stance. You can pull that off. Didn't leave any divot here. Ball at the 3, 1st down. Rams trying to buy breathing room, and they hand the ball off to Carney. His 2nd carry of the game takes him to the 7-yard line. They'll switch ends, and we will go to the 2nd quarter. It's the end of the first quarter in Seattle. Playoff berth at stake. Seahawks 7, Rams nothing. Sunday Night Football resumes after these messages. Well, tonight's aerial coverage from Seattle being brought to you by the DVD Dinner for Schmucks. I just read the cards here, right?
Is that when I don't pick up the tab?
It's a free dinner. Right. Perfect. Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, Andrea Kramer. Seattle, 2nd quarter, 2nd down and 6. And the Rams from their 7, and Bradford almost got sacked, and he's able to get it away to Daniel Fells, the tight end. And that will be a 1st down. Raheem Brock almost knocked them down to the goal line.
It's a heads-up play by Bradford that time. Raheem Brock is not going for any fakes at all. He's going straight for Sam Bradford, and if Bradford didn't get his head around quickly, that one was going to end up in the safety.
It was that close to 9-0. Instead of 1st down, Bradford gets planted in the end zone but gets the pass away. Now from the 17-yard line, to hand the ball to Steven Jackson. Great hurdle move, and Jackson bulls his way for a gain of 13. Tackled by Brock out at the 30-yard line.
And you just wondered when it was they were going to get back to this running game, because Steven Jackson has been the cornerstone this entire season, and he knows it doesn't always go well, but he said, I've got to touch it. I've got to run with it 20 to 25 times, because when I'm doing that, it sets up Sam Bradford to throw the ball, so they've got to keep coming to him.
Jackson at 6'2" and 236. Big, powerful back, 7th year in the league. Quick slant, caught. Gibson, Brandon Gibson takes the ball out to the 42-yard line. Steven Jackson, a Ram since he was picked in the 1st round in 2004. 3/4 of the Ram carries, most touches in the league, only running back in the league with 1,000 or more rushing yards in the last 6 seasons, but trying to get to the playoffs for the first time since he was a rookie.
Yeah, and for Steven Jackson, he's going against a defense that has allowed 200 yards rushing 3 times, including last week.
Well, Garrett Blount had a field day in Tampa, and Jackson gets taken down after a gain of a yard, maybe 2, up at the 45-yard line.
Now, one of the key positions when you're talking about the Seattle Seahawks is what they call their 5 technique, and they've had some major issues and injuries there. They had a guy by the name of Red Bryant play in that position, sort of opposite their best pass rusher, Chris Clemens. And when he got hurt, they really struggled to stop the run. Quinton Balmer, Jay Richardson in there now, but that has been a position of interest all year for them.
2nd down and 9. Blitz coming. Swing it out to Jackson. He's got some room. And Tupu finally wrestles him out of bounds, but not until he picks up a 1st down.
Well, anytime you're going to bring Lawyer Malloy out of the secondary on a blitz, that means your middle linebacker has to now go out and cover the back on the outside. And pretty good job inside using the tight end as a pick on Tupu. Probably lucky that one didn't go for more.
Rams have it at the 42-yard line. Lofa Tupu, 6-year out of USC, played there for Pete Carroll. Bradford buying time. And then that one is knocked down. So a lot of deflected passes. This time it's Brock again. Number 98, 2nd down and 10.
Well, there's a good matchup going on the outside right out here. Probably the Rams' best offensive lineman, a rookie, Roger Saffold, working against the Seahawks' best pass rusher, and Chris Clemens got a little help that time from Jacob Bell, the guard. But this young man, Roger Saffold, is probably their most athletic lineman. You'll see him in the screen game being the one more often than not that they like to get in front because he is so athletic.
2nd rounder, played at Indiana. Jackson through the middle and chugs his way inside the 35-yard line to the 33, setting up 3rd and 1. He goes in behind the fullback, Mike Carney.
Well, for Lofa Tupu, the middle linebacker, he's going to be at the point of attack a lot tonight. And here's a guy that really has been their cornerstone on defense throughout much of his career. But this is a defense that really calls for bigger inside linebackers. It's going to be interesting to see how that position evolves with this defense.
3rd down, long 1. Fake to Carney. Ton of time for Bradford. Finds the open man. The catch is made by Fells. His 2nd grab on this drive, and he gets to the 19-yard line, 1st down.
I'll tell you, that's a great job by Sam Bradford. Nothing the coaches designed on that play really worked. They took a shot down the middle of the field with Brandon Gibson. They had to back out in the flat. There's nothing there. He just patiently surveyed the field. There you go. Just check it right down. And Daniel Fells ends up picking up a big one. So good patience that time by the rookie.
Under 10 minutes to play, 1st half. 7-0 Seattle, 1st down. Here goes Jackson again. 4 yards through the middle to the 14-yard line. Steve Spagnuolo, longtime assistant at Philadelphia, then with the Giants, made his mark there as the defensive coordinator in their Super Bowl season.
Well, Jason Smith, the 2nd overall pick a few years back, playing that other tackle position. He moved over to right tackle because Roger Saffold was so good at left tackle. And once the Rams start to establish this run, it's going to be tough for the Seahawks. That two-way go is awfully tough for a defense when they get it going running and passing.
11th play of a drive. It's had 5 runs, 5 passes, and that pass is incomplete. Intended for Danny Amendola, who is their leading receiver. Amendola with 83 catches this season. I'll tell you another thing, Chris. They start the season. Donnie Avery's probably their best receiver. He gets hurt. They have to trade for Mark Clayton. He comes in, does a really good job. Comes over from Baltimore. He gets hurt. You have a whole bunch of guys that seemingly came in off the street as their wide receiver core.
Not to mention a rookie left tackle, a rookie quarterback. So clearly they've been trying to piece this thing together. And tonight they're going to have to show for their final exam they can win in this place.
Bunch formation to the right, and they break that. Amendola comes over to the left side, and Bradford will roll to the right along with the line. And that pass is not caught inbounds.
Well, it was kind of strange. LaRon Robinson that time had both feet down, was going to make one of those Chris Carter kind of catches on the sideline, but I think maybe his right foot came up off the ground just before the catch was made.
Of course, upstairs the coaches will take a look at that to see whether they should challenge or not. But they shouldn't. His right foot did come down.
Ooh,
left foot up.
Pretty close.
Possession there.
Pretty close.
But not close enough for a challenge. Here is Josh Brown, who spent his first 5 years as the Seattle kicker. And that 32-yard field goal attempt is good. And that makes it a 4-point game. We were looking at that replay on the Robinson catch that was ruled out of bounds. Boy, that was maybe close enough to challenge. You take a look again here.
Well, that stop frame right there kind of looks like a catch. He did kind of raise one foot, then the other foot, but it looked like there was one moment there where the ball was in his hands and both feet were on the ground. I don't know. Tough one.
That would have been a first down. Instead, they settled for the field goal. The kickoff now taken by Leon Washington at the 14-yard line. And Washington brings it out to the 38-yard line. Whitehurst ready to go back to work with 8:49 to go in the opening half in Seattle. 7-3 Seahawks. And Whitehurst slings it downfield, and getting open was Rubel Martin. 5 of 5 for 85 yards passing for Whitehurst.
Boy, what a first drive for the Seahawks.
Game's only touchdown. Whitehurst, there's Hasselbeck. Hasselbeck injuring his hip last week. He rolled out, ran for a touchdown to Tampa. He'd taken a couple of shots on that hip in games earlier this season. He also has a fractured left wrist, so he's worried about bracing his fall. You can see the cast on the left wrist. And there was some question even up until game time as to who would start tonight. Whitehurst from the 37-yard line. Flips it out. It's a low throw, but Forsett makes the grab. And he's forced out of bounds by the outside backer Chamberlain. Here's Hasselbeck. We were down on the field. He looked pretty good, at least when he was throwing the ball to us, Chris.
Yeah, and he goes out there and just, you could see, well, that looked pretty good right there anyway. But his problem in practice had been he couldn't rip that hip open, if you know what I mean. You know, like golf swing or anything. Watch his hips. How you sling them open and then put that left foot in the ground, and that hurt him. But tonight it looked good.
On 2nd and 5, the catch is made by John Carlson, who's their second leading receiver behind Mike Williams. Vabora makes the tackle on the play. That'll set up a 3rd down and 2.
You know, in fairness, though, to Charlie Whitehurst, it wasn't like he was putting up great numbers, but neither was Matt Hasselbeck. In his previous 4 games before the Tampa game, where he only had 4 pass attempts, he had 10 interceptions. So there was some heat on Matt Hasselbeck as well. And if he can go tonight and not have to play, it would be great for him.
Short drop pass caught, and does he get the first down? Forward progress is the issue. Obamano makes the catch. Spot the ball right on the yellow line, and probably close enough for a measurement here. Kevin Dockery making the tackle.
You know, the simplest of all plays on the outside, little pick here, and let's go out in the flat. Rams adjusted nicely to it, but they got enough for the first down.
Yep, Boger took a look at the sticks, doesn't even bring the chain gang in, and tells him to move him down 10 yards. Neither team able to run the ball effectively tonight. Seattle with 115 passing yards. Ball at the 47-yard line. And Whitehurst avoids the sack, tucks the ball in. Chamberlain will chase him and send him out of bounds after a gain of about 6.
Well, the last time left tackle Russell Okung got a chance to play against James Hall, it did not go so well. It was his first start ever, but tonight, much better. You've got James Hall, who really has become one of the better pass rushers in the NFL, and at least thus far has not been a factor.
2nd down and 3 after a 7-yard gain with the ball at the 46-yard line. And Lynch starts to go north-south, and the minute he goes east-west, down he goes. It will be 3rd down. Mentioned before, Seattle with the worst rushing attack in the league, 85.5 yards per game. Haven't had a guy rush for 100 yards. 3.7, second lowest in the league. Ironically, St. Louis also rushing for 3.7, but their 3.7 is a little higher.
Yeah. You know, and they really got killed when Alex Gibbs retired. They didn't know where to go. He was the run game coordinator, and without him, it just never recovered.
3rd and 4. And that pass is incomplete because you had Laurinaitis coming in and putting the pressure on the middle linebacker. When he blitzes with effectiveness as he does here.
Yeah, and you know the thing about the Rams is they don't blitz a whole lot, but when they do, they tend to get there. And that was the MO the first time these two teams played. It was like they sort of lull you to sleep a little bit.